What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video here on EMKWAN Reviews with me, EMKWAN, and this in my hand is the Huawei Matebook 13. I've been using this Windows powered laptop for the last 3 weeks, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you my experiences with this laptop. Alright guys, so this is it, the Huawei Matebook 13. Now, before I talk to you about my experiences with the laptop itself, what I want to do is show you what you get inside the box with the laptop. Obviously, you'll get the laptop, and incidentally, this is a space gray laptop. It comes in space gray or a silver version. This is one of the newer ranges of Matebooks that Huawei have announced for 2019. We'll talk more about the design element of this in a moment, but inside the box you're also going to get this, which is the power charging brick. Now, this particular one is not right for this part of the world because I'm having to use a further adapter because we have the 3-pin adapter here, but you should get the right front one for the region that you purchase yours from. This actually has a fast charging capability, so you get about 2 hours with about 15 to 20 minutes worth of charge, which is very, very good. The other thing is it is an incredibly light charging brick, which is nice to see. You also get USB-C a charging cable. So this is great because not only does it mean that you can, if you forget your charging cable, you can use another USB-C charging cable. It also means that this can be used for charging up other devices, for example your smartphone. So that's good that Huawei have included that. The other thing that you get right out of the box is this, and that is a USB-C enabled adapter. So you get things like VGA, another USB-C port, and this is really useful for those of you that need it. I haven't had to use this, so I've left it in its plastic, but that is nice to see that Huawei have included inside the box itself. So onto the laptop itself, here it is. Many of you know that I actually use a MacBook when it comes to video editing and a few of my sort of content creation elements, but I also use a Windows laptop for work. And this is a very interesting laptop because of the footprint. It has a very, very small footprint with a lot of screen real estate for what you get. Now, it is a metallic body, and the design element of this I think is really, really nice. It doesn't weigh very much, about 1.3 kilograms, which means that it's light to carry around. It also means that it's great if you want to put it in a bag, a backpack, a laptop bag, whatever. It doesn't have that bulk to it. The other thing is that you have this tapered design. It's about 0.59 inches at the thinnest, and then it kind of tapers slightly thicker all the way to the end. One thing to note, however, is, I mean, this is supposed to be an ultra portable laptop, but you only end up with 2 USB-C ports, one on either side. Bear in mind, if you're plugging this in to be charged, you'll be left with only one USB-C port, and you also get a 3.5mm headphone jack. That is it. I think that's one of the issues that I found, because when I am using a laptop, I might need other peripherals. It's just a little sparse when it comes to that, so bear that in mind. So the design of the Huawei Matebook 13 is carried through into the inside. Once you open the laptop itself, you'll notice this really large keyboard, and it's a very comfortable keyboard to use. I've had no issues with the keyboard itself. I like the fact that it's actually quite a quiet keyboard as well, which is a nice experience. The other thing is you have this really large trackpad here on the bottom. The trackpad can be set up for scrolling and other customizations, which you'll find through Windows. So that's a good experience over there. At the top over here is the power button, but this is an incorporated power button. That means that with the fingerprint sensor that's incorporated within that, with one touch, you're actually able to go straight into your desktop. So if you power this down, you want to power it up, go straight to your desktop, that can be done with a single click, and it actually works incredibly well. So under the hood, this Matebook 13 actually has one of two options. Either you can go with a quad-core Core i5, or in this case, which is the one that I have, an i7 processor. That's Intel's Core i7 8th generation processors, and the model also comes with 8 gigabytes of RAM and up to 512 gigabytes of storage, which is what I have on my laptop, and that's SSD. Now, the i7 version is also going to come with the NVIDIA MX1 15 graphics card. And the graphics card is great for, light gaming, but also to help with photo and video editing. Nothing too strenuous and intensive, but for basic to sort of mid-level editing on both photo and video, the Matebook 13 has performed incredibly well. So let me take a moment to talk about the all-important touchscreen experience. You've got a 13-inch touchscreen, which is actually noticeably smaller than something that you might find on the Matebook X Pro. That has actually a 13.9-inch panel. This is still very, very good. It's a 2K panel, a 2160 by 1440, and I love the aspect ratio. It's got a 3:2 aspect ratio. You also have incredibly small bezels all around the side, and the bezel now will hide behind it the front-facing camera. In the past, we've seen Huawei incorporate the front-facing camera into a function key down at the bottom, which I've used. I think it's a great way to kind of store away the front-facing camera, particularly when it comes to issues around privacy. But when you did need that and using the keyboard at the same time, that could cause issues. So it's nice to see Huawei moving that back up to its more traditional place. One of the things to note, however, on the screen is that it's got this, by default, really strong, quite aggressive automatic adjustment to the screen when it comes to the brightness. I actually turned that off, and I found that to be much pleasant, much better on the eyes, much better generally overall. And once you get that down, you get almost 300 nits of maximum brightness, which is really, really good. Now, fans. No, I'm not talking about the ones that stalk you on social media. I'm talking about the ones that you'll find in your Windows-powered laptop. This is not a fanless laptop, so there are fans in here, but very rarely have they turned on. I think the only couple of times that I remember was when I was doing some editing and also experimenting with some gaming. But the fans are quiet. They don't make a lot of noise, but it's not a fanless laptop. Now, one of the other cool things that I've got to mention is the ability to Huawei Share. I found that this has been a bit hit and miss, but when it does work, it's pretty cool. So if you have another Huawei device, like a smartphone, you can, let's say, take an image with your phone, like I did here with the laptop, and then you tap this area over here with your smartphone, and there it goes. It sends basically through the smartphone over to your laptop directly. So the Matebook 13, I've mentioned quite a few of the positives. Let me just talk about a few of the issues that stood out for me that might be considered as negatives. The first one is the lack of USB-C ports. Now for me, when I use a Windows laptop, I need my peripherals, and I found that with the, let's be honest, it's practically one USB-C port, particularly when this is plugged in. I felt that, that's really important, especially for a portable laptop. The second thing for me, which surprised me a little, was the battery life. The battery life, I was getting between 5 hours worth of battery, and for me that wasn't enough for a typical work day. Now granted, there is that fast charging power brick, which you can carry around with you, again because it's light, but that again was something I would have liked to see better battery life on this kind of form factor. The final thing is the price. I think the price for the Matebook 13, if you've got a budget of about 4,500, 4,600, you're not going to be disappointed, because there is a lot of good quality sort of laptop for that price point. But if you're able to push your budget up slightly more, then it might be worth considering the Huawei Matebook X Pro. For me, the killer things that really stand out are the fact that you've got this really small form factor, you've got relatively good specs, but the inside keyboard, the full keyboard and trackpad are a great advantage to be had. Not to mention also the build quality that Huawei have incorporated in their new lineup for 2019. Alright guys, that's it from me for now in this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, then be sure to smash that like button. And if you haven't, let me know why in the comment section down below. And if you're new around here and want to see more video content like this as it goes live, hit that subscribe button. Finally, I want to know what laptop you guys are using, particularly if you are using Windows powered laptops. So again, use that comment section down below to leave your feedback. That's it from me for now in this video. Until next time, I'm EMKWAN, and this has been the Huawei Matebook 13. Peace and blessings.